What's up YouTube? Kristo here, and I've got a review for you, something I've been wanting to do for a really long time. I really need to shed some light on this fragrance. I'm going to be reviewing Tom of Finland from Etat Libre d'Orange. Really great scent here. This is created in 2007 by Antoine Lee, who's most famous for having worked with Comme des Garçons as well as Etat Libre d'Orange. He's done some really interesting fragrances. This is definitely one of them. Tom of Finland is listed as a woody aromatic, which I don't know, I think is a bit misleading. I would say this is better as woody spicy or oriental, just because of the really strong spicy and oriental notes that you will definitely pick up in this. Now this is a men's EDP from Etat Libre d'Orange, which translates into English roughly as the independent state of Orange, or ELDO as you'll often hear people refer to it. This house is famous for using a lot of sexual innuendos, puns, and comical and racy names and packaging. It may come across as gimmicky to some people, but I do think from what I've sampled from their house, they do what they do pretty well. It isn't just a gimmick. I was a bit, dubious of them at first, but okay, the notes. Now there's a lot of notes in here, okay. Top, we've got aldehydes, lemon. Mid, we've got birch, pine, safraline, pepper, cypress, galbanum, geranium. In the base, we've got vanilla, tonka, iris, vetiver, styrax, suede, musk, and gray amber. Now, I did find conflicting notes listed on different websites, different databases and stuff, but I took that list I just read directly from the box. There was a little pamphlet inside that listed specifically what was in it, so obviously I thought that would be the most reliable. Bottle sizes, as far as I can tell, like most ELDO fragrances, this comes in a 50 bottle like this here. I don't usually get into presentation on fragrances, but I wanted to on this one because this is a limited edition, and it does have kind of unique packaging compared to the other Etat Libre fragrances. It's got a very heavy matte box, and I don't know if you can pick it up with my crappy camera, but above the M on Tom, there is a leather biker cap up there, and this has a dirty drawing, as it says. Mine is number 4 of 8 if you're interested. And inside the box, I know you definitely won't be able to see it well, but there is a drawing of a semi-nude, very Scandinavian looking fellow with a mustache inside. Definitely not as dirty as I thought it would be, but perhaps a bit risque still. And the bottle, it has the same, you can probably see the biker cap better on there, but yeah, and it's got some kind of nuclear waste orange juice inside as well. Okay, so prices for this, because it is a limited edition as far as I can tell, it's not as easily available as other ELDO fragrances. I've found a lot of websites that sell ELDO fragrances, but they don't have Tom of Finland. So it was kind of hard to price this one. Retail, as far as I can tell, is about $80, which is pretty much the same as other Tom of Finland fragrances. I have seen people say that they've picked this up for $40, $30, so you can find it out there for cheaper than retail price, but in my opinion the retail price is quite reasonable. And like I mentioned, it's definitely not as accessible, or it doesn't seem to be as accessible as other fragrances from this line. Now, who or what is Tom of Finland? And this is funny because I actually went to school for art and design, and I did not know who Tom of Finland was before I heard of this fragrance. And upon doing just a little bit of research, I instantly recognized who it was. Tom of Finland is the nickname of, and you have to forgive my Finnish, Touko Laaksonen, who was a famous homoerotic artist from Finland, and he was quite popular in the 70s and 80s. He did a lot of very risque depictions of very exaggerated, very butch homosexual men, often in seductive poses or kissing or embracing one another. Very recognizable. Like I said, I studied art and I didn't even know who Tom of Finland was. And as soon as I started doing research on him, I saw some of his pictures and I knew exactly who it was. I just didn't know who the artist was. It's very iconic work. If you're into art, if you know about art but you don't know Tom of Finland, I guarantee if you do a bit of Googling and a bit of researching, you'll probably recognize him right away. His work was very iconic, very groundbreaking as well. I don't think he was quite as popular mainstream in North America as he was in parts of Scandinavia or Northern Europe, but yeah, definitely he has a very big cult following. So let's get into the smell on this one, the opening and the dry down. So I got the dry down on this side and I'm going to put a spray over on this side and we'll see how they compare. So, okay, the first couple minutes, maybe not even couple minutes, the first minute of this, you can definitely smell the aldehydes and kind of a general citrus feeling. But it does slowly, I should say quickly, actually start to bring out the suede. The suede comes in really strong and it lasts the entire length of the fragrance from that point on. And it does slowly get sweeter and sweeter. And yeah, until you're like just, to me, you're looking at the suede, you're looking at tonka, vanilla, definitely some iris in there as well. A lot of the other notes, honestly, I either just do not pick them up at all or they're so very faint it's not really worth mentioning them. Now, what does this remind me of? Strangely, this reminds me of a root beer float with tonka in it, okay? A root beer float with vanilla ice cream and tonka. It definitely has very gourmandish qualities, but the rubberiness of the suede and the animalic side of the suede definitely counteract it. So this is certainly not a straight up gourmand fragrance. I'm not a big advocate on gourmands, but this one I like, and I think that's a reason why, just because of the strange rubbery suede feeling to it as well. Now for projection, this one is nuclear. It is atomic. I personally am not the kind of person that limits sprays or will only apply once in the morning. I always reapply, even if I wear strong fragrances. But this one, I do not reapply for at least 6 or 7 hours because it is so strong. Not joking, if I spray this, if I use this and I come back and I'm looking over my collection the next day or even 2 days later with this on my top shelf with the cap on, looking over what I have, I can smell Tom of Finland very, very specifically, like unmistakably. I can smell that over anything else, and most of them I can't smell unless I take the cap off and stick the sprayer right up my nose. This one, it's there. It's amazing projection. Longevity, yeah, again, it's excellent. I can't even say how long this lasts. I'm gonna say 12 hours plus. I can't go showering long enough or long enough without reapplying another fragrance that I can actually tell how long this lasts. It is potent stuff. Occasion. Now this one is kind of hard. I don't think there's a real specific occasion where you'd wear this. I think this is more for someone who wants attention because it is so strong, it's so strange, it has very synthetic qualities to it as well. So I think this is definitely just for someone who wants attention. Now that said, I don't think I would recommend to wear this to work or to school. Because it is so strong, you're probably going to annoy more of your classmates or colleagues rather than garner compliments from them. So, be careful with that. Season, yeah, because of how strong it is, the sweet oriental qualities to it, definitely I'm going to say winter or autumn. Perhaps, if you're a little more daring, you could wear this in the summer for a night out somewhere, but winter, autumn, for sure, in my opinion. Now, ELDO is a niche fragrance house. Is this niche quality? Yes, it definitely is. It's certainly not the most natural thing I've ever smelled, but to me, because of how unique and how strong it is, I do think this is niche quality. Next one, worth the price? Yes, definitely. Especially for, you know, you're looking at about $2 a mil, which I think is very reasonable. Less than $2 a mil, actually. I think this is slightly cheaper than most offerings from Serge Lutens. Actually, it is. Serge Lutens is kind of like my benchmark in terms of 50 mil niche fragrances. So I look at, you know, if I'm going to pay $2 per mil for 50 mil fragrance, is this going to stack up to Serge Lutens? And in my opinion, yes, it does. I think they do very different things. I know Serge Lutens and ELDO. But like I said, that's my benchmark, and for me, yeah, this stacks up. For being less than $2 a mil, I think quantity versus quality versus price fits for sure. Now this is a weird question. I've read this and I've heard statements and comments about it, and it does kind of anger me, but is Tom of Finland a gay fragrance? Okay, now Tom of Finland, this is in collaboration with the Tom of Finland Foundation, and Tom of Finland was a homoerotic artist, yes, but there is no such thing as a gay fragrance. Obviously, there are certain fragrances that will be targeted more towards the gay community, but it definitely does not mean you have to be gay to wear it. It's a stupid, narrow-minded question, okay? You shouldn't let labels of any kind hinder your interest in perfume, okay? There's nothing gay about it. It's just, you know, a take on a fragrance that is meant to be representing Tom of Finland. Now, what are the pros? Now, for this, for those that like it, this is one of the strongest, loudest, strangest, sweetest fragrances I have ever tried. I think this is great if you're into leather or suede. It's done much less conventionally than I've ever tried. As well, this is a great price for 50 ml niche bottle. Less than $2 a mil for that potency. I think this is definitely worth it. Now, what are the cons? Definitely this will be too sweet and or too synthetic for a lot of people. It may be so strong and synthetic smelling that it will bother certain people. So yeah, again, be careful when you wear this in close quarters. Definitely not ideal for work or school. So if you're a college kid and you do want attention, you know, this would be great. Wear it to the club, wear it to the pub, whatever, but just be careful about wearing it to the classroom. As well, I think if you're a new, lesser experienced nose, I think this might just be a little bit too strange. Definitely not as strange as some fragrances from the Etat Libre d'Orange house, but it still is definitely not on a newcomer's level. Recommended. Who do I recommend this for? Definitely anyone who wants something super sweet, super powerful, anyone who likes leathery or suede fragrances. There's really not that many great suede fragrances I've ever tried, and this is definitely up there. This is something definitely noteworthy. Also, this is great if you're like me and you collect limited edition perfume. This is really, really good because it does seem quite hard to find, and with, you know, the collectible boxes as well, that's interesting. You know, you can kind of keep them on your shelf, collect all 8. I think this is a great intro level into niche perfume, as well as Etat Libre d'Orange. There are definitely other fragrances from their line that are way out there. There's other that are much more tame than I expecting, so I think this is a good introduction to that fragrance house. In my opinion, I highly recommend this. For the price versus quality, I think this is just an absolute no-brainer. Even if you don't like the fragrance, I think it's just kind of a really great novelty fragrance to have in your perfume collection as well. You know, I don't want to sell this as a novelty fragrance, but just how incredibly strong and strange and potent it is, I think it's something worth having on your shelf. So I'd be really interested to hear what you guys think of Tom of Finland. I know there's definitely people out there that are into this fragrance, but it's gotten very, very little talk in the community, and definitely want to get this out there for people to check out. So I hope you enjoy my review, and I'll see you when I see ya.